I got a DM from Michael Brooks, who is a sub to the channel, right? And he sent me this video, which I was not aware of, and it's Michael C. Wright and some other guys talking about Wemby. Don't know how long it is, but I thought that maybe we can take a look at it and listen to some. I don't know why I thought my camera was there. I don't know why I thought that. My camera hasn't been over here in a very long time. I don't know what's going on with my brain. It's about to get late, I guess. So yeah, we'll take a look at what Michael C. Wright had to say. Before we do, if you guys are interested whatsoever, please go check out Daily Fantasy Sports Sleeper, the sponsor of this video and this channel and this live stream. So if you guys are interested whatsoever and you want to get some picks in, please do, man. It's really good. Obviously the NBA will be starting up Wednesday, which is crazy. Next Wednesday, that's crazy. So you'll be able to do the NBA. But if you're familiar with the NFL, you're familiar with baseball, hockey, all that good stuff, you can make your picks over there. Super simple. You just go on, make your picks, add it all together, right? And then you can win some money. Now, with that being said, use that promo code. Use the promo code CLAN. You'll get 100% match up to $100 if you guys are interested. All right, so yeah, big shout out to Sleeper. Yay, Sleeper. They're great. Sorry, I was trying to bring this up. Why did it start at 11 minutes? That's so weird. Let's go back. Here, I'm gonna speed it up just a little bit. Let's do closed caption and speed up just a little bit. Yeah, let's see what's going on. Oh my God, that hurt my ears. Jeez.
Mike, I'm just gonna let you know now that I am a Wemby truther. Okay.
Okay.
I firmly believe that he didn't grow 2 inches this summer. I think he's always been 7'5", and maybe he did get taller, but everyone was calling him 7'3" last year. I was like, open your eyes. Dude's like 7'7". What is going on here? Why are we not recognizing the fact that he's way taller than listed? And people, oh, he's 2 inches taller now. He's 7.
Wait, this must be a. Hold on, skip around a bit.
A bunch over time. Even what do you call it? Tracy McGrady was one, right? Because I think Tracy's closer to 6'10" than he is the 6'8" he was listed at, right? Because I know how tall Paul Pierce is. I know how tall Steven Jackson is, and I've seen Tracy next to him, and he's taller. He's like objectively taller. So the players tend to downplay, which is of course very counterintuitive because most of the time we know a player's doing the opposite. It's like, I'm 6'5". John Starks ain't no damn 6'5". We're damn near eye to eye. How are you 6'5", right? You're 6'5", Michael Jordan's 6'6", and yet the gulf is massive. How is that possible? But there is for certain players, and a lot of it is when you're...
Clan, I sent you the vid. Wait, you sent me this? Oh, wait, or did you send me a different vid? You didn't send me this.
Height will start to dictate what position you play, right? Because if you're this tall, so KG would say I'm 6'13", because he knew once you say 7, that means you're a center. You don't want to be a center. Durant, same thing, right? Once you say you're 6'11" or 7 foot or whatever, you don't get to be a wing anymore. They slot you as you got to be a 4 at least, maybe even a 5. So that.
Wait, is that a thing? That's a thing? I had no idea that was a thing.
That's why. But when you're 7'5" or 7'6" or 7'7", downgraded 7, I don't know what the advantage would be for even for the player.
I'll tell you, I think if you're like Porzingis, who's 7'2" or 7'3", you can be thought of as a unicorn. But if you're 7'7", get your ass into the paint and you're just going to be George Miras high. But the irony is, Manute Bol he slung 3-pointers more than anybody.
Yeah.
And he was 7'7" or 7'8", whatever you want to call it.
But that was also Manute Bol playing for Don Nelson.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so if you have a mad scientist head coach at the time.
I wonder if it's a height thing. If the height thing is a psychological tactic used by players, 2 inches is a big difference in contests. I mean, I just don't understand. What advantage do you get out? Like, so once they see you, they're like, oh my God, he's way taller than I thought. But like, you're going to be seeing these players plenty, right? So like, what difference does that make? Am I missing something? Even for preparation, like there's no guarding Wemby. Everyone's aware there's no guarding Wemby. I don't know. You say YouTube bugging again? Oh, that's not good. Yeah, it doesn't look like my stream was taken down. It's probably just YouTube.
They probably would have stuck his ass in the paint too.
All right, so the transformation that the headline says inside Victor Wembanyama's summer of transformation. Mike, I know we don't, as journalists, we don't write our headlines.
No.
But your argument is not that he transformed his...
I didn't know that. There's a lot I don't know about journalists. I didn't know that. They don't write their headlines?
height. Like he didn't get taller.
I thought they just get their headlines approved. No?
He got smarter, or he got stronger. So he went to Hakeem's, post game dream school. He also went to a Shaolin temple. He went to Tokyo. He went to Costa Rica. And you talked to Hakeem. What is the fulcrum of his transformation that you saw when you're reporting this story for ESPN.com, Mike? What is the biggest thing that you saw him transform?
I would say for sure his mentality, just from the standpoint of, I have to take every moment and make the most of it. And we all do it. We take different things for granted or whatever. And just because of that DVT that he was diagnosed with, that's not only is it career threatening, it's life threatening. So he was in a situation where he really sort of had to contemplate and think hard about, okay, how can I make the most out of all the experiences that I have? And, Vic is in a different position than us. I mean, I can't just call Hakeem Olajuwon and say, hey, man, I want to come work out with you a couple days. So.
I also can't just book a flight and just go to Tokyo whenever.
He used the access that he has to make the most of it. And I think that was, you could see it. Because, let me explain how some of this stuff works. That, when you're around Victor, in the summer, there were times where we had sort of access to him, but you couldn't ask him basketball questions. You had to ask him about whatever was going on at that time. He went to go see the flood victims out in hill country of Texas. Well, we can't ask him, hey, man, did you get taller? No, you got to ask him about, that stuff. Or when he does the fan tryouts or whatever, you got to ask him about that. But, I guess as a journalist, I'm watching closely, okay, what is he doing here? And
what? Why can't they I don't know. I guess it is inappropriate sometimes. Certain questions journalists have asked at certain events. Wasn't it Harrison Barnes? Didn't they ask Harrison Barnes something about the Spurs when it was at a charity event? That was a little weird. Yeah, and then they say you can't ask that or something like that.
I'll tell you.
By the way, they all have my mic. That's my mic. That's my mic. I don't know what mic he has. And I don't know what Michael C. Wright got.
He's an interesting kind of dude, man. There were times, for instance, and I don't know if it got in the story or not, because, by the end of the editing process, you're I don't even want to look at it anymore. But anyway, there was a time when he visited the flood victims in hill country, so all the kids ran out on the court and everything. And Vic sort of just had the presence of mind to go run and grab a team photographer and then arrange everybody for a shot, because it was a moment that those kids would remember the rest of their lives. And, I think that just what he went through with that diagnosis, it made him sort of kind of pay more attention to all the small things in life. And I think that,
I think the coolest thing about Wemby, the absolute coolest thing about Wemby, and it's no offense to Duncan at all, no offense to, our previous Spurs. We got 5 championships. I enjoyed every second of it. I loved being able to brag about my team. But I will say this, I don't think any of those guys that we've had in the past, at least in my era watching the Spurs, have been as fan friendly as the guys that we have right now. And I don't just mean Wemby. Sohan has done it, Keldon has done it. These guys absolutely love the fans. I don't think it's just a front. I don't think it's a PR stunt. I think they genuinely do love Spurs fans. And Wemby is showing it with his actions. It's not just his words going up there and saying, hey, I really appreciate, the fans being out there for it. For him to say, it would be really cool if we brought a Spurs section, the craziest Spurs fans in one area. That is such a cool idea. And obviously it's not original because other sports have done it, but he brought that. He's bringing something to the fans, makes you feel like you're a part of it. Because a lot of times you go to these games, and unless it's a playoff game or it's a big game, how often do you feel like you're genuinely a part of it? Yeah, you're cheering, you're having a good time or whatnot, but there's only been a couple times I can think of where I went to games and I felt like I was a part of it. like if I wasn't there, the game wouldn't play. I mean, obviously they would still play, but it felt like if I wasn't there, this game wouldn't exist, right? Like they wouldn't be playing. It was I think game 2, Spurs versus Grizzlies. I was in Memphis, and then it was Grizzlies versus, I think it was OKC. And Grizzlies versus OKC, like game 1. It was after they beat the Spurs, and I said, screw it, I'll go to the Grizzlies game. And you actually felt like you were part of that stadium. It just doesn't happen that often. I've been to plenty of games, and it just doesn't happen like that. But this is a way where every single game will feel like you're a part of it, right? And then other people are going to try to out cheer the people in the crazy section. Like it's just good. It's just nice, man. He genuinely cares. I know that was a long like soliloquy I just went on, but you know,
that's what led him on that journey.
So there's a part of Vic that comes across almost like Ned Flanders. Like, no matter what, this guy always has a silver lining, and he's always going to, like, the best of all of us, the best attitude that any of us can have. He has it at all times. And so when I read through it and how this was a scary experience for him, the DVT, and...
That is true. Yeah, Wemby does have that kind of a mentality. I just watched the first episode of the anime To Your Eternity. And that main character, he doesn't remind me of Wemby, but like the main character in that first episode, I won't spoil anything, but my God, bro, what he goes through is so sad. It is so sad, but he was optimistic the entire time. It's contagious. I feel like Wemby has that though. It's contagious how optimistic he is. He truly does believe. I think I know this is a lot of talking. This feels like gonna be a long video. One thing I absolutely love about Wemby is I think back on when he went, when he first got to San Antonio, right? And he was asking guys like that are the end of our bench that do not get playing time questions about like how the NBA works and what he can work on and why are things like, I think it was Don Barlow. It was Don Barlow. And he said, I am blown away by like Wembanyama just came up to me during practice and asked me questions. He's like, you're Wemby, right? Like you got all the eyes on you. You're supposed to end up being the greatest to ever play this game. And you're coming up to me to absorb knowledge, you know? Don Barlow, undrafted. So, yeah, I'll let them talk a little longer. I'm sorry.
Coming back and making the most out of life and all that stuff, but it all feels like it's still in the same, pardon the pun, vein of what he was before, just a little heightened. Is there any example you could think of something where it's like, man, I used to be a real piece of shit when it came to this, and this experience made me leave that alone? Whether it was like,
really? Oh, are you asking me if that really happened? Yeah, that really happened. I think that's what you're asking me, Anthony. Yeah, that actually, Don Barlow did say that. See if I can find that.
Eating Cheetos or being a dick to waiters, or I mean, whatever it is. What's something where it's like,
he's too good to be true?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
So he was too good to be true before the DVT, and now after it's like he's supposed to be even better than to be true. There has to be something, even if it's in the past, that he's kind of like learned from and gotten better at. And maybe it's that. Maybe even if it was like, I was too nice, now I need to be a killer. Is there something like that?
Honestly, I don't know, but let me take you back to like the fan tryout thing.
Mm-hmm.
Man, like there's fans just coming in all morning. I keep looking back behind the curtain.
I'm trying to find it on my phone, and I can't find it. It might have been one of those things where we watched it during one of those like training camp, like brief training camp videos of Don Barlow talking about it. Or maybe it was like on a random podcast, but there's no articles just popping up on it. I'll keep looking though.
Or whatever, like, damn, are there more? Because I'm ready to go at this point. You know, I'm ready to go. Like, and I'm telling you, man, every fan that came in and did their little tryout, Vic's got like a notepad in his hand, like a little Spurs notepad. He's taking notes. He's asking every one of those people questions. And what I didn't get to put into the story because I didn't realize this until recently, bro, this dude went back and watched film of that. Yes, he watched the tape of the whole tryout. And the Spurs people are like, man, you're doing too much here, man. Like, this is too much. But he went back and watched tape of it before he made his final picks of, you know, who would be in that fan section. So I don't know if this is different.
This is just who he is, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. And it has to feel so great to be handpicked. You were handpicked by Wembanyama, bro. Like, I feel like I'm a crazy fan. I don't know if I would have won that. But like being handpicked, you'll never forget that. Like, Wemby is like creating memories. Like, you'll never forget that. You know, with so much crazy stuff going on in the world, especially America right now, it's really nice to have somebody like Wemby, even if it's like a small segment of your life, you know, to bring some joy. It's really cool that he's doing this. I know that might be like a little like cheesy to say, but I don't know, man. It's cool. Like, I haven't. We'll all be crying during his retirement. That's all I'll say.
Then maybe he would have handled things in the past, but I mean, I'm with you. Like, as a journalist, you're skeptical. You're like, this is too good to be true.
Mike, you've been around a long time, not only covering the Spurs and covering the NBA, but also in the NFL. Have you ever encountered an athlete like this? The most positive of positive people I could think of is Grant Hill. To me, Grant Hill is like, Grant Hill makes me feel bad about how I am. Like, damn, man, like, if this dude can be this magnanimous, this gracious, this good of a teammate, this caring, this all this stuff, like, what's my excuse, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like Vic goes way beyond Grant Hill to the point where, like, this can't be real. Who's an athlete that, in your experience covering
He's not faking it. And, you know, everyone's like they look up to Wemby, I mean, literally and, you know, metaphorically, but they look up to him and they're like, dang, like he is, or figuratively, that's what I meant to say. And they're like, man, he is just so great. You know, he just has that vibe to him. But it's what they see day in and day out, right? It's contagious. Claiming your stream is extremely laggy. It's not me, because oh yeah, I did disconnect a few minutes ago. That was a few minutes ago though. I don't know.
Sports, like, approaches even that level of kind of aura.
I'm gonna date myself here. When I first got into the business, my first big assignment was the Dallas Cowboys. And it was the Dallas Cowboys. They were washed at that point. They were washed. It was over, but they didn't know it was over. And Deion Sanders, prime. He was that guy.
Really?
Deion Sanders is like kind of cocky though. Here, here's skip through.
He's stronger.
Yes.
Where he's putting his shoulder into you and you're going into the sixth row, or when they're trying to check him, Isaiah Jackson, he looked like a 6-foot guard out there against him and tried to do things against him. And even when he caught Wemby kind of off-footed, he like kind of juked him on the perimeter.
He still gave him a little when he got back. Yeah.
When he got back, and then Isaiah, I don't know, I couldn't tell. Maybe did Wemby pull the chair from him because he went right down? Like Isaiah Jackson tried to put his shoulder into him and he went right down. And Wemby took the ball under that basket, went 94 feet, and then dunked it on the other end.
Yep.
Like it was just like the most ridiculous. He recovered laterally so much that he beat Isaiah Jackson to the spot. Isaiah tried to overpower him and went down like a ton of bricks. And I'm just like, what do we do with this guy? If he's that strong and knows his power, that's scary.
I think that's
You know, the only thing and we'll finish. I'm not gonna go through this whole video. Maybe we can go through it bit by bit. You know, over the course of this next week. But that one thing that I worry. I know it's a stupid worry, and there's nothing that the NBA can do about it. But I'm worried that we're going to be so dominant that the NBA is not going to be happy with that. I don't know what they could do. I mean, we have such a smart front office. I don't know what they could do about this, but you know, it's not like I haven't seen games in which the Spurs got screwed over in the past, right? Like a few of them that come to mind. Oh man, you guys remember against, I think it was against the Clippers. Was it Game 7? And the refs, they started the shot clock earlier. Like, and we saw it was proof of them doing this. They started the shot clock way before they should have. Before the ball was even inbound. It was so bad. It was so bad, and we lost that game. I can't remember exactly how that game ended, but I remember that was a big part of it. And they screwed us over there. And then I think of that game versus who was it? Was it Thunder? I don't remember if it was the Thunder or not. It was when we had, I think LaMarcus Aldridge had just got to the team. We had a really good squad, and they screwed us over. Where I think maybe, I don't know if Ginobili was inbound the ball. It's like very vague. I don't want to bring that one up because it's very vague. Like I don't remember it fully. But I do remember it was like a no call in a crucial situation where I was like, what the heck was that? Anyways, sorry. I'm just saying, I hope that the NBA doesn't attempt to screw us over if we're too dominant, right? But then again, it might be good for the NBA. Like, these legacies are good for the NBA. It's not like, I don't think the NBA was losing viewership when Michael Jordan was winning his championships, right? I don't think they were, but, you know, I don't know. I mean, he was on top of the world. He was huge. Huge. People that weren't even NBA fans, I hear, wanted to tune in to MJ. But yeah, we'll get to the rest of this later. But yeah, I don't want to go through this whole 40 minutes. So if you guys want to just watch it without any of my commentary, it is over at, oh, they doing like a little collab thing now on YouTube. Count the Dings and Basketball Illuminati. That is a name. That is a name. Oh, Clay, you saying NBA is rigging games? I don't know. I don't know if it's rigging. I don't know. I just know that they really screwed us over. I guess I am insinuating that. It was a few games that I can think of where I'm like, they really screwed us. Like, really screwed us. But I don't know.